Hello.
Hello.
Everybody say something. Are we
Hello.
audible? Are we edible? What's the
Welcome.
vibe? Are we what's the
Oh.
vibe,
Welcome.
guys?
Are we alive is the question.
In the nick of time.
We are alive-ish, guys. We are alive-ish. We thought we were gone and we had a massive fight. But then 2 weeks ago, Lando Norris was the Hrithik Roshan and brought his family back together with his antics in Miami. And but sorry, welcome to the Sidepod. Everybody's just had many things going on, lots of moving parts of the last couple of weeks. And now we are all finally in places where we have access to reliable internet and could match our schedules.
I don't know any of this yet.
Okay, good stuff. So 3 out of the 4 of us are in places. And at this point, just to give you an idea of how badly things have been going, this is an acceptable quorum on which to start the podcast. If 3 out of 4 people have reliable internet, we will go. Welcome, friends. How's it going?
Going, what a great couple of weekends, right? From Formula One season standpoint, gosh, like when we left off the last time we spoke in when Australia had just gotten done. Everybody just assumed that because Max didn't finish that race, it was this sort of it was blip on the course of the season. But how things can change within 3 weeks. RCB 6 losses in a row, then 6 wins in a row, and makes it to the playoffs. This is the turnaround of May that we have all been waiting for.
Just congratulations that we have managed to make it 4 minutes into this episode, where somehow while talking about Lando Norris, we have already gone to RCB. Excellent game. Well done, RCB.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, but what a great month of May for a turnaround in sports.
Yeah. I think overall we've cracked the fact that the way to beat Max Verstappen is to make sure he's racing 2 races that weekend. And then you can take some time off of him, because there's a chance that he will have stayed up, as my parents would say, all night on the computer again.
Yeah. But that's like he stayed all night and he still came first in exams. Matlab, you stayed all night and you came 10th. He still came first, like he stayed up all night. He's still like somehow he's that guy,
I appreciate the generosity in stating that I came 10th.
Yeah.
But yes, Azim, Sherry, thoughts on...
Oh man. Sherry, you go.
I think just the excitement of having a non-Max winner and a first-time winner in Lando, which we've all been rooting for him and saying it's coming, but somehow the stars were just not aligned at any given point. And then I think now to see him in that space was just fab, and he's owning it. We were just discussing how now even this race was just like, oh my God, I could have won it. I could have done this, just a few more laps. And, so I think that's the best part about it, because you can see that he's hungry and he's got the pace. So I feel like it's going to be exciting times ahead, hopefully.
Yeah, it does look like at least finally now there's somebody who can at least keep up, if not overtake, on track. But so wait, which race do we want to talk about? Because I think I have lost track of.
Yeah,
I've forgotten
Miami.
Completely honest, and if we have to be very true to ourselves, too much time has passed. And I think the truth is that there is Imola, and then there is the blip on the radar. That was the Miami win.
Yeah.
I feel like those are the two. And if you have context from any other races, please specify that race before mentioning it. Since we are now apparently a quarterly podcast.
But man, I started making my notes for this with about 18 laps to go. So my notes were slightly skewed because the number one note was Verstappen GOAT, as you can see. But how wrong I was. No, but listen, I think we'll get to talk about Lando and McLaren and everything that happened. But just Verstappen, where he started that weekend, struggling with the car, then finally pulling out that just insane couple of laps in quali, like just where he was finding the time in that first sector was just wild.
Unreal.
And
Hulkenberg.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, he was finding that. Yes.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, he again played it smart. Did all the right things. Even in the race, I think got slightly poor start, but again put it together by the end of the straight. And yeah, just I mean, also the fact that he was on that final warning for those last like 12
Yeah.
laps being chased down, and the way Norris was like literally wringing the neck of that car and chasing him, and the fact that
Yeah.
Max didn't blink and did not make a single mistake throughout, that for me is just exceptional. Like I thought that he was going to at least get into like DRS and at least go and make one send somewhere, and then I thought we would get to see the Max Verstappen elbows out defense that we've all been waiting to see for about 2.5 years at this point. So no, but yeah, you also, I think it's kind of annoying now that the cars have dirty air again after the entire last year of, hey guys, dirty air is gone, and now suddenly you can close up to a second and a half, and then you can't pass at all unless you have like a tire advantage, and also it's quite annoying.
Yeah. I think Imola lived up to its name as the Formula One MSC Cruises Gran Premio del Made in Italy del Emilia Romagna 2024 with another spectacular Grand Prix. Kurkure, Desi Beats, Baiju.
But it started out pretty
Vimal.
thanda. I mean, like when it started out, I was like, okay, nothing is happening
Yeah,
up
yeah.
until, yeah, like
Nothing was happening anywhere.
at all.
Nowhere.
Yeah, nowhere. And
Yeah,
like
nothing.
no incidents.
My
on
favorite
the,
was how the
like,
commentators, like after the start, were just like, quite a clean start overall.
For
That was
everyone.
how disappointing.
Yeah.
Just everyone's so well behaved there. Why are you behaving so
and
much?
like, yeah, like no one, like even Logan Sargent was well behaved. I was like, wow.
I mean, I don't think he ever behaved badly on purpose.
I think fate has behaved badly with Logan Sargent.
Yeah,
Although-
just him and Albon, and oh my god.
Before I forget, because I know we're going to get into Lando, etc., whatever, before I forget, the thing I remember from the weekend is it all kind of went pear-shaped at the end. But bro, what a first half of the weekend Yuki Tsunoda had.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like over the last few races, he's finding something that wasn't there earlier in terms of it's not, but he's not, I think that 2 seasons ago, DTS meme Yuki.
Yeah.
I don't like to exercise Yuki anymore. This seems like this Yuki who gets up to exercise a little bit, like even on the days. So I thought he's had an impressive couple of weeks.
He still seems angry about a lot of shit, but like in a way, the way he's dealing with it on track is amazing. I mean, I think like in one, it was Q2 or Q1 where he was like P2 suddenly, and we're like, like what? Like at least what happened to this car? Obviously, I think like it was their home race as well. The RB team is close by in Faenza. But, they were snipping at the tails of like the Astons and that sort of end of that midfield group. And as soon as somebody has a problem, like as soon as you see, an Alonso or any of the top 5 teams have a problem, there is either a Yuki Tsunoda or a Nico Hülkenberg just waiting.
Yes.
It's guaranteed that they're there to sort of lap up those points. And it's amazing to see like that at least convergence.
They're just there
happening.
waiting to fight Perez for 9th.
Perez.
Perez, dude. Can we just call him Choco Perez and finish it
Choco Perez.
I love how in the entire race he only woke up once when he had to
Lewis.
defend Hamilton.
Hamilton, yeah.
In his head, because
Like everyone else, he was like, jao.
Yeah.
Like his head,
There was a
like,
half
now
second
Max-
where I'm like, is this racist? Like, I don't know, because he seemed really comfortable for the whole.
No.
Like,
No,
he
it's-
just let
it's
everybody
because-
else through.
It's because in his head, he's hearing, if he blocks Lewis off, he's hearing Max sing Checo as a legend, and he's like, that's the only moment he's had for 4 years.
It's
Damn,
Pavlovian.
that's crazy.
It's
Are
like,
you telling me that Max is Checo's Joss?
It's
Greek tragedy right here.
Yeah.
Oh man. Also, sorry, there are people in chat asking 442 is happening tonight at 10-ish, I think. So, yeah, anyway. What else was there? Also, I have a conspiracy theory about this race, guys.
Yes, what is
This
it?
one, which is that I think that without telling anyone, Alonso and Stroll were driving each other's cars.
Yeah.
Swap happened.
Because full swap has happened. Where
It's like one of those movies where it's like, what if you lived in my shoes for one day?
One day,
Where
yeah,
the-
this is what it feels
Where
like.
the,
the
where the
Princess Diaries.
twins, yeah, the twins swap.
Or
Yeah.
Nayak.
Yeah. Because Stroll actually, for me, drove a very, very good race. Like just completely out of the way, letting everybody pass bindas. No fight with anyone. I have no quarrel with anybody in the world.
Yeah.
And nicely took those mediums and got the strategy and made it
I
work
think they
very
were
well.
waiting for like a late safety car. If that late safety
Yeah.
car had come, it would have seemed like a 1000 IQ strategy entirely.
That
But
100%
even
safety
still,
car. That 100% safety car.
that 100%, yeah, Imola safety car, yeah, that 100% safety
I mean,
car.
honestly, before Lando started, it was a very thanda, nothing happening type situation, right? Like, I mean, it was pretty much like,
Yeah. We saw another like Ferrari, Ferrari was again like 1-2 laps late. They were
Yeah.
checking, they've been checking on their strategies,
Yeah.
like as soon as Lando went into the pit, he came out and he was behind Perez. That should have been the sign, call Leclerc in, save this, like get the overcut or whatever. But clearly,
but somehow they're not like cutting it. Like right now, Ferraris are not looking as strong as the McLarens at all. I mean,
I think the top three teams now are pretty evenly matched.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Yeah,
Like,
I
I
think
think
so.
I
like
mean,
all three of them, it's
yeah, I
really
guess
now
depending on the track and
the
what
driver
upgrades they bring
confidence.
here, their driver confidence. But the Mercs are nowhere in contention. Like they are in their own like
What are you talking
unke
about?
baat
They
type
are
stuff.
absolutely the best of the midfield teams at this time. Like, I think they are the strongest midfield team.
They
by
are the
far.
midfield.
They
Yeah,
are
they're
the
the
very
midfield.
consistently
They are
seventh
I
and
mean,
eighth.
I feel like even you're seeing what the lack of drive that Lewis was having last year, where he was not motivated, or I'm like you're kind of seeing that in Russell as well now. Like I feel like even he's like, what's the point? Like there's
I mean,
nothing.
he was also
happening.
smarting because they just like called him in to do one
Yeah,
fastest lap,
exactly.
like,
Yeah.
randomly, and like come out behind Lewis,
No, and
And
literally
everything.
they got him ahead like 1 second
Second
ahead of
yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah.
Perez. Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Dhruv
like
Bhatia, sorry, very quickly, Dhruv Bhatia had a super chat that says any other driver in that Red Bull and Lando had 2 consecutive wins for sure. Current Max is the best version of a Formula One driver I have ever seen, and I would have to agree. That was
Hard to
Max.
disagree.
That was not the car. That was Max.
Yeah, very hard to disagree. I mean, also, like, which other sport, do you see one athlete playing video games the night before and like winning them, and then like it's like
Chess.
if Messi was playing like freaking FIFA the night before, the World Cup, and then he went and won the World Cup, and you'd be like, shit, what is this legend? He's like, like how do you compete with this? Like,
It's yeah, I was trying to explain it to a friend. It's like you've got a reasonably great crop of drivers who
Yeah.
just unfortunately happen to be born at the same time.
Same time as this guy. Yeah,
As
shit.
this guy.
Yeah.
It's-
And I saw the other, like he drives in this team called Team Redline. Okay. And that is the 24-hour Nürburgring race that he was seeing. And after they won the race, they posted one photograph. Yeah. And Max is the only adult in that photograph. All the rest of the drivers, there's this one chubby looking kid, and there's 2 others who look like IIT engineering students. No offense to them, but like what else? Like he's the only guy. Like there's, you won't picture any other driver over there in that photograph. Go and check it out. Okay, Team Redline ke Instagram page, like
That's
Madhu.
hilarious.
Okay, like it for the chubby kid. He's got his priorities.
Apparently, Arjun, I've been told by chat that Pirlo
Yeah.
did this in 2006. And also, apparently, somebody can factor Messi won the Ballon d'Or for his EAFC achievements last year also. So apparently, this is a thing. So
It's a thing.
Kids, you can
It's
tell your
like
parents.
it's not
if you
enough
wanna
that
be-
you have to
Yeah.
win in person. You have to digitally win also now.
Win in the
You
video
gotta tell
games.
your
Yeah.
parents if you want to be
You
good.
can't
at
do that
sports,
in
they have to
cricket.
let you play.
Sadly, you can't do that in cricket because BCCI doesn't give rights for the teams to anyone to put in a video game.
Yeah, but IPL and stick cricket these days are damn
Yeah,
similar.
that's true.
Dude. Like,
That's
yeah,
true.
yeah, like you
In
played
fact,
stick
What is
stick cricket
bowling?
is harder because
What
there's
is
no
bowling?
impact
Yeah,
here.
what is bowling? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, damn hard to compete with the driver at that level, and you could tell, like, obviously Miami was that first sign that like the car is not up to it, and so he has to step up another level, and clearly he did that on Saturday. It kind of that Saturday qualifying reminded me of Monaco qualifying. In fact, yeah, like when Alonso was P1 and was like, oh shit, Max now to be able to make it, and then like last minute he's able to pull out a lap out of anywhere. And then in the race as well, like on Friday, nobody, like I think all the pundits didn't have, Max performing really well in the race and everything, but somehow that boy has done it once again.
The quali also, you could tell his reaction after the qualification. It
Yeah.
wasn't
He
like
as
the
well,
usual
yeah.
simply lovely or this thing. There was an
Yeah.
element of, are you serious? We did it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
insane.
is kind of nice to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also the fact that you had your top three like within a tenth of each other.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
also like after a while. I mean, we had that with Max and Charles for a while. Last year was it? Yeah, for a brief period where they were like within a 10th
Yeah.
Tenth of each other, yeah. But it was
But,
very
yeah.
Saturday specific thing, and like, come Sunday. In the first part of the race, though, it did seem like, oh shit. Like he was like, I think by the first pit stop, he was like some 7, 8 seconds or 6, 7 seconds ahead of Norris. And you're like, shit, that doesn't seem like managing my tires wala gap. That seems like he's getting away wala gap.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to have to sort of deal with second place. But then by the end of the race, also Lando, like Sherry was saying, was like, yeah, now we should be winning the race. Felt bad not to win this race and everything. It's funny, right? Like when you're a long-term fan of like sports, say, like I know Azim, you are a big like football fan as well, and Rohan, you are also a United fan, right?
Hey man,
you don't bring up all this trauma.
There's no need. There's all right.
Like when you think about like
the football
This is a safe
podcast is
space.
later, man. I just you know what? I
was thinking about it as a
tennis
McLaren fan.
I am a tennis fan.
As a, like I have
Yeah.
like when you're a long-term fan of a particular athlete or a team or whatever, you're taken through this whole journey, right? And then you get used to certain phases. Like Sherry thought that Lewis was going to win forever. 10 WDCs was happening, right? And then like over that period of time you have, at least 8.
He's like, yeah, salt.
10,
Wow.
10, just do it.
So
10.
any example in the world you could have used.
Yeah. And you feel like you get lulled into this sense that this is what it's going to be forever. And as a McLaren fan for the last decade, I've been lulled into this sense that kabhi nahi hone wala. Like shit. Like Arsenal. Like I stopped watching. I used to watch Premier League football. I had to eliminate football from my life because of the amount of other sports I was consuming. But I keep track of Arsenal ka score, and I'm like, yeah, kabhi to aa jao yaar. And then as soon as they get close, there's a Manchester City that is sitting on top that is, going to shatter their dreams or whatever. But now, is it like, can we believe, McLaren fans? Can we truly believe that
Think at
we
this
have
rate,
something
like,
here?
next year is going to be tasty as hell.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, could it be this year? Like,
I mean,
hell,
I think
they
this
brought
year
back,
also.
there's still
They
like
brought
a
that
good,
one.
14 races, 15 races to go.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like there was still a full Formula One
There's
season.
like,
Fair.
yeah.
It's like
There is the entire 98 season still to race.
Season
Right now.
still playing,
Also, I think the
like-
good thing is because both Lando and Oscar are so young, they've got nothing to lose. Like they're so hungry that they are like both literally like, we want to get something, we want to win, we want to prove ourselves. So I think it's gonna get tasty.
But
Yeah,
I
and
also
if that Hulkenberg slipstream hadn't happened,
Yeah.
we were looking at a McLaren 1-2.
yeah.
As in the from a qualifying standpoint, of course, like Oscar got the penalty and everything, but like there was so little into it. Like it could have been a McLaren 1-2. So can we believe, Papaya fans?
Yeah. No, but couple of things. So one, I definitely think that if right now, I think the way the sort of meta, if you will, of Formula One is qualification. Like if you can qualify and get ahead, and track position and like these dirty air tracks is so important. Like if McLaren was 1-2 or McLaren was first and they got through like those first few laps ahead of Max, they would easily win because like in clean air, that's the kind of deck that Max was dealing with, right? That the tires were going in clean air. So if they can get the car ahead, which if you look at Piastri's lap, he just basically made a mistake on the final corner where he put like half an inch in the gravel and a little bit of wheel spin. Because otherwise that was pole for Piastri pretty much, and I think it will be a very different race. But also as a rivalry, I think what's interesting is that if we get like a Lando or Lando versus Max kind of rivalry for this season, as it seems to be shaping up to be, I think it's going to be the first time, correct me if I'm wrong, since Hakkinen Schumacher, where we have effectively two people who are not in the same team, who are basically sort of like similar age, similar generation, like competing with each other. Like it's always, if you look at it, been like old horse versus new young gun. It's like Schumacher versus Alonso, then Vettel coming in as the new kid, Hamilton coming in as the new kid.
I think Hamilton Vettel 2017 is
that was
probably the
probably the
last,
closest,
the closest last season that like two at the peak of their game.
And we had, I mean, a few seasons where there was Raikkonen in the mix as well. One or two seasons here and there. But like this is one where it's like properly like these, like how it was with Hamilton and Rosberg, where they were like again best friends, very good friends off track, and then you see what happens when they're in the same team and the rivalry happens. So I genuinely hope that it becomes like a little trading of a few wins here and there. Norris puts some pressure on Max. Like Monaco is up next, and again, I think that's a track that fully suits the McLaren at this point because they're very quick in like these like medium speed sections. So if they put that car on pole, you never know. And of course, then you have Leclerc over there, who's always going to put up a performance, and it's actually pretty much three home drivers. No, it's like Lando, Max, and Leclerc. All three.
I mean, most of them technically live there.
Yeah, technically, like everyone's home Grand Prix.
Grand Prix, except like Charles is actually legit.
Like he grew up there.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know, it's the only one who's like. But yeah, I mean, also if we look at the thing right now, I think on the points table, I think it's like Max and then Charles, and I think Lando is P3 now in the standings as well. And you know, like one DNF from a Max or whatever has the potential to like sort of really shift things around. But like that is like a DNF from Max again. DNF, you're like asking.
Asking for lightning strikes now.
Yeah, exactly. We get into Mario Kart zone then, like, you know.
But I don't know that it does feel like there are, ever since this entire Adrian Newey thing and all has happened, it does feel like there are a few holes in the Red Bull machinery also appearing. Suddenly tires are degrading. Suddenly car is
What
not
are your thoughts on
set
that
up.
and all the musical chairs that we're hearing about?
Yeah, I don't know.
Since we've been gone for a while, there's been a lot of goss.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I don't know what the Newey situation is. Where does that even go?
Yeah, I mean, definitely you're right in that, like
Ferrari.
Williams, bro, come on,
Williams would be amazing.
Go with me,
come on,
Williams would be
come
on.
Suddenly, Logan Sargent winning championships.
That is the more cinematic story, where basically Adrian Newey and James Vowles together in this multiverse of nerdiness win F1 with pure maths.
Adrian Bhau, come on, do it.
Yeah.
I will pay for your flight ticket.
Yes, that is the issue. Yes, Aziz. That was the thing in the contract that really broke it.
He needs a flight ticket from the Red Bull garage to the Williams garage.
Yeah. Economy. Yeah.
Shobik is saying it should be hilarious if we go to VCAR.
Guys, I'm sorry, VCAP sounds like a diet here. Why is this team
It does sound like a diet.
VCAP?
VCAP sounds awful.
And
Yeah,
also,
but you can definitely see the chinks in the Red Bull armor for sure
Oh,
when
yeah,
it
yeah,
comes
full
to
on.
the performance on track. And I think obviously exacerbated by Checo's performance. Like Checo was nowhere this whole weekend. He was
hopeless.
absolutely nowhere. So it's like, oh shit, if assume Max was not in that car, let's put somebody else like a solid midfield. Let's put Nico Hulkenberg in that car. No offense to Nico Hulkenberg, I don't think he would have won the race, in that car or a Lance Stroll or whatever.
Little
So
offense to Hulkenberg.
little offense to Hulkenberg.
Little offense.
Yeah, little offense to Hulkenberg. But he doesn't mind, dude. He's having the fucking best season of his life right now.
Oh, dude, he's
Yeah.
really having. He's letting it rip, dude.
This is the Hulkenberg, and now that he's got that Sauber seat as well,
Oh,
like
yeah.
that, he's gosh, what a legend that guy. And like to the extent that Kevin Magnussen, the incumbent within the team, is now like scrambling for what he is going to do in his
Yeah, dude.
life.
I
Yeah.
keep going back to that Drive to Survive episode where like they've just had to fire Mazupan and Magnussen's the one who's like sitting there with Steiner going, so do we call Hulk? And now,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
what a
There's no
insane
Steiner
amount-
anymore either.
No,
Yeah.
And also just Kevin Magnussen, the guy who now just can't race anymore at all for
Yes.
fear of getting
Yeah.
penalty points.
Yep, used
What
up all
was
his
that?
lives in the first level.
35?
Yeah, means what
35
was that?
seconds
Like,
penalty.
that was just ridiculous.
Like,
Insane.
that was pay to play, basically. He was like, that's it. It's okay.
I was down for it, dude. I was like, come on, TK, yaar. What do you have to prove, Kevin Magnussen? You're not winning some world championships or whatever. You want to be an entertaining driver. People should remember your name. You shouldn't be like any of those other drivers that came and went out of Formula One. Nobody even remembers who they were. You need to like stamp your, put your
This is
stamp
what the
on
devil
this.
sounds like on your shoulder.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
who
yeah,
100%
exactly.
what the devil on your shoulder sounds like. This is
Yeah.
who 100% that guy.
Yeah.
This is the do it guy. Do it.
You
Jump,
could see
jump.
it also. That devil was
Yeah.
talking to him. Okay, he was on the start finish straight. He was behind Guan Yu Zhou, and the devil was like, "तू अंदर से ले ले, safe रहेगा, safe रहेगा, तू अंदर से ले ले." मगर वो बाहर से गया. He was like, "नहीं, this is how I'll do it." You know?
But there were a couple of good overtakes over there, huh? In that
Yeah.
Hulkenberg overtake, even the Ocon and Piratella, quite nice
Yeah.
to see that one.
I mean, surprisingly, this race, obviously, I feel like the DEG levels played a big role across the board in the overtaking and all. But there was also by the end of it, you didn't really need a lot of overtakes for the race to be thrilling. Like it was pretty close, and it wasn't like there was like some 25-second gap between Max and everybody else. So you're like, oh shit.
I mean, it looked
totally.
like it was going there briefly.
It did.
Yeah,
Totally.
it really did.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Like, it's so. This thing, I mean, on Sunday in Miami, there was a 95% chance of rain in Imola. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's going to be amazing. Amazing and everything. When you get there, like, it's so hard to predict these things. And I feel like this season, particularly also with everybody getting to grips with the aero stuff, that the gap seems to be coming down. Like, even Mercedes, they did bring some upgrades and all, and they're chipping away. I feel like the top four is going to get fairly close by another few races. Where in the thick of the European season, we'll be in the thick of that. And
Right, please keep talking. I just have to take this doorbell.
yeah, and I that like this was what these new regulations were meant to do, right? And the cost cap and everything was meant to bring this playing field closer. It did seem at the start of the season that gap had actually grown bigger, but now whatever Ferrari and McLaren seem to be doing seem to be paying off, and could this be the new normal is the question to be asked, or is it just something till like even Red Bull apparently brought upgrades to Imola, and the fact that they still won the race using those upgrades and not reverting to a previous version of the car which was safer or whatever goes to show that there's still probably more performance in their car as well. But I mean, Monaco could be whoever puts it on pole has the best shot of winning. So It could be anybody's game.
Yeah, Monaco is all about the quali at this point. Even more
What do we
so
have
than
after
before.
Monaco? We have
After Monaco
so
is
Monaco is going to be like, obviously you have to look at
After
Monaco as an
Monaco
outlier.
is, wait, I'll
what,
check.
Spa?
We've got Canada, of course. Yeah. We do that random
Oh,
trip
they're
to
still doing the
North.
random trip to Canada.
Random
Yes, bro. It's
Why?
sustainable.
Canada,
It's
then
sustainable,
Spain,
bro.
Austria.
Bro, it's sustainable. Bro, it's their most sustainable season yet.
What?
Don't argue, okay?
God.
Don't argue. It is sustainable.
When I was
It's
10 years
sustainable.
old and watching Formula One, even I was like, this cannot be
Yes.
right. They
No,
just
it's
raced in
sustainable.
Europe and now they've gone to Canada. And then they come back to Europe just for one race.
Bro, Canada is Europe only. It is sustainable.
How?
They speak French, okay? It is Europe, all right. Americans don't know all these dumb things. So please, it is sustainable. You don't know geography. Just relax.
Fair. Point taken. Yeah. Yeah.
But didn't they do a bunch of sustainability in the other things?
They did now. The start of the season, we had Bahrain and Saudi.
Correct. They did that.
back-to-back
Then
and
they do
Austria.
Miami, Imola, and back to what?
Yes.
Yaar,
It's Aramco Sustainability Initiative by Aramco.
MSC Cruises.
Sustainable when it
Aramco.
can be sustainable. When it can't, they just skip it and they
Yes.
just move on. They're
Yes.
like, chalo.
Yeah.
3 sustainable, 2-3 non-sustainable.
But
chal
it's
raha
not
hai.
The
sustainable.
sport
Yeah.
where when you close your eyes, the first brand you still see is Marlboro in your head.
Yeah.
It's sustainable. Number one, sustainability.
I think this is what Latifi has been sent to do his MBA for in Canada to find out how to get
Yeah.
this Canada out of the way in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Speaking of Marlboro, it was great to see like this weekend also. They did a lot of Senna tributes because it was like 30 years of Senna and Seb
Yeah.
drove the 93.
Looking kind
No,
of
sorry.
slim and sexy, huh, if I may say. Like,
Yeah,
Exactly.
I was
It
going
looks
to
like
say
he's
he's
been
looking
training.
younger
Daddy said,
after
yeah.
retirement. Like,
Yeah.
Somebody looks like he's been training
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Neck strength needs something, but everything else looks like it's in shape for sure.
Yeah, full on.
Yeah.
Also, clearly, Max didn't get the t-shirt memo that everyone else got.
Had to wear.
What is this?
Max and Valtteri.
So there
are
was a
like
run,
opponent-
and everyone wore these yellow t-shirts that Seb gave out except Max.
Oh,
So
but
it's
people
for
are saying
Red Bull
apparently some
Yeah.
was stolen.
सबको मिल गया उसी को नहीं मिला. हाँ.
अरे वो Yos must have taken for himself. मेरा बेटा नहीं पहनेगा ये nonsense.
Yeah. But it was nice to see all the Senna tributes. That was really great. And also Seb again did one show run in one of the old cars, doing his whole. Was that also on sustainable fuels?
Yes.
I think like he's been all these show runs that he's been doing in the old cars have been with
Yeah.
sustainable fuels.
Very
Which
sustainable.
he's the only guy actually doing something about sustainability.
Yes. And now he will also sustainably go to Canada for a sustainable TV interview.
Yeah.
The Sustainable Aramco press conference of sustainability.
Yeah. Gosh. Yeah.
Oh my God.
But I mean, who would we like to see in that Mercedes seat, right? Like, if we're thinking out loud, one German driver that we would like to see in that Mercedes, in that
Would
German seat.
Hulkenberg? Oh no, Hulkenberg can't happen.
Hulkenberg is in
Hulkenberg
is in Audi,
he's
technically
in
another
Audi.
German
He's in
team
Audi.
only. Yeah.
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 Who else? There's nobody else only. Sub driver useless. Sir. I mean, who else is showing potential?
How do we really know that Carlos Sainz is back?
You know, those two guys at Alpine are not able to do anything right now. Okay, one guy got 1 point in Miami, and they were so happy about that 1 point in Miami or whatever they got, the Alpine team. But I rate both of them very highly, but they're just unable to show anything on track at this point in time. Like, and also like the nature of Imola was such that all I saw of the Alpines through the race was them being lapped. That's it. Like constantly, like the number of by I think lap 30, they were already lapping so many of the cars. Like it was crazy. The differential there, even in the midfield. Like Pierre Gasly, I saw his interview. He was like, "Oh, at the start of the race, I could see Sonoda and all were right up there and everything. At the end of the race, they were like they had already reached halfway to Canada, and I'm still waiting at passport
Yeah.
control.
I mean, that way, though, even like just how bad was Williams that Alonso with all the time pass pit stops he was doing in the middle of the race is still catching up to
Still
the back
catching.
of Logan
Yeah,
Sargent.
yeah.
Just
Uh,
not a good weekend for Williams.
It never is at this point. I don't know when. I think Canada is the track that they will literally is their only track where there's two straights that they can do something with, and Monza later on. That's literally their entire plan is can try to get points at Monza and Canada. That's all they can do.
Yeah, but even still, like, I mean, do we think Logan Sargent is an accurate representation of somebody that needs to be like Alex Albon? Whenever given the chance, even in Miami, there were moments where he was really competitive and it
Yeah.
looked like something was happening and everything. But every time I hear Logan Sargent speak, the first thing that he says usually is, "I don't know what happened."
Yeah.
Like, bro, you were in the car. If anyone should know what happened, it's you.
Yeah, but
But
he's
like
like
every
go easy on him.
Yeah, wait, just he's what's that? Pleading the fifth, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
right, Malak, kya hua? Yeah. Somehow we are P19 again.
Yeah. I wasn't there.
I wasn't there. Yeah.
He's like, speak to my lawyer, please.
Yeah. Yeah.
Logan Sargent, my God. For me, the best is you guys have seen the Siddharth Shetty videos, no?
Yeah. He did
I
on
think
Sargent.
the Logan Sargent one was just the best. So
Oh,
good. Everyone,
really?
please go watch his entire
Yeah.
series of F1 drivers as Mumbai
Yeah.
residents.
Yeah. Yeah,
man.
and in this, I mean, just rounding up the stories on this weekend, there was an F2 also this weekend, and our boy Chris Manny didn't really have anything to write home about, though his teammate seemed really on it, Bortoletto. But weekend to forget in the F2 as well for Chris Manny. Let's hope that he has a better run in Monaco. Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah.
Not much
When is
else happening.
Monaco is
Monaco
this
is
coming
this weekend.
weekend?
Yes, it's perfect. Yes,
Oh, this weekend.
amazing.
This weekend.
Yeah, 24th to 26th.
And then somehow, at least tell me they have like a 2 week gap between them
7th
and
is the next
Canada.
one. Canada is 7th.
Yeah, because they will go on a sustainable ship. They'll go on a sustainable sailboat to Canada.
With everyone rowing individually.
Except
actually a
Sergeant in
fitness
the opposite
exercise.
direction. Sitting backwards. Why is the ship listing slightly? What the fuck is a nautical mile?
Yeah. And Shogun style, there's a Dutch master of that ship.
Yeah.
And his name is Max Verstappen. वो Japan जाएगा.
So, how are we feeling about Monaco though?
I mean, excited.
I get the feeling non-max win at Monaco.
Ooh. Sherry, is that agreement or acknowledgement and delight? Like, I'm trying to understand.
It's everything. It's
Okay,
everything.
all
If
of those
Max
together.
is not in the picture, I'm very
No, he'll be in the
happy.
picture. He just won't win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll be very
that's what I
visible at
mean,
the
as
back of
long
the
as
picture,
he's-
whoever he's chasing.
Yeah, right there.
But yeah, I mean, I just feel like honestly, it's just become too boring in that space now to see him win. Like, as in the way he's won so far. It's all, I mean, credit to him because he's been great and like no one's coming close as well. But now that they are, I think it's exciting.
Yeah, no, it's good. They should. It's like I think we've had a couple of seasons like this before also, where
Yeah.
Cars starts very dominant, then tails off in the middle, and
But honestly,
hopefully
the
it
best
stabilizes.
seasons, even for viewers, have been when they're tight. Like when Max and
Yeah,
Lewis
of
were
course.
neck and neck, it was more exciting for everyone to watch than, just like a season where one person is winning, obviously. So I think Lando definitely, and even Oscar, I feel like I have my money on Oscar. I just feel like, Lando is obviously more experienced and all of that, but this young guy is just so hungry and so good that I feel like we're going to be seeing a lot of him.
Coming back to something you were saying earlier also about the two drivers being young and having nothing to lose, I think the one advantage that also gives the small sort of edge that it gives McLaren over Ferrari is that I think if you just look at the temperament of the people on the two lineups, I think Oscar and Lando just overall, like, I mean, look, Hamilton is Hamilton. He's all of those things.
Yeah.
But he's just, like, I feel like Oscar and Lando's vibes are just very, very, very cool. Like, in terms
Yeah.
of,
chill
there's
vibes.
this very
Yeah.
chill, level-headedness, like, almost
Yeah.
beachy vibes going on.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, where I just feel
Even
like
Andrea
that's-
Stella.
Yeah,
Even
Andrea
the
Stella also, his vibe. Like,
Yeah.
like he was the last guy just very patiently standing there to hug Lando when he won, and then they went up there. And I think that potentially, like, going forward could give them a bit of an edge, because if I'm just trying to trying to visualize team radio, right? That's it.
Yeah.
And I know that that's not necessarily the most, and I just feel like the vibe
But it is indicative of intra-team chaos for sure. Yes.
100%, right? And I
Yes,
just feel like
yes.
that McLaren sort of, the radio is way more chill than the, like,
Yes,
you don't get like
100%.
the like, Xavi, you have to tell me.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah,
tell
yeah,
me.
yeah.
Like,
They
you
changed
know,
him, yaar. Ek naya banda aaya this
Yeah,
time.
yeah, they got a new guy now. They got a new guy
like,
now.
they changed their whole thing and everything. Yeah. There's something there for sure. In that, like, the calmness within the team typically tends to have impact on the thing. But I also kind of feel like you need that for these like split-second decisions.
Yeah.
For example, when Lando went into pit and he came out behind Perez, Leclerc should have boxed that lap.
Immediately.
Correct.
Like
Correct.
immediately.
Correct.
Or Sainz should have boxed the lap just after Piastri or whatever, so that he, like, those are the kind of, like, you wait one additional lap, that opportunity is gone, and that sense of level-headedness needs to be there in that split second more. You've seen him come out behind, box now, bro. You know? Yeah. Like that. Those are the kind of things that will make the difference. And obviously, you see it with, when was the last time we saw Red Bull cock up a pit stop, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very rare.
I also think in
Yeah.
general, racetracks, what my learning over the last couple of races is that racetracks need to have more bollards on the side.
Yeah.
I think in general that seems to improve racing.
That is true.
I think there need to be more bollards on racetracks. Like, I'm sort of seeing the advantage now of having closer gravel, but I'm also really starting to see the advantage of more bollards, especially at elevation changes.
Changes. Yeah. You can't see them. You shouldn't be able to see
Yeah.
them.
No,
Yeah.
that's the thing. You can see that in the
Yeah.
first race, but that's
First
what
time.
happened, right? After he took the
Yeah.
bollard out, life
Out,
became
yeah.
difficult for everybody, because that
But-
bollard comes at, that bollard actually is what's telling you, like,
Where the thing is.
chicanes
Oh,
are
yeah.
coming
Yeah,
up,
yeah.
right? So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
This is a very common thing in sim racing, especially Assetto
Yeah.
Corsa and all. You'll see people on the first lap only, just harami people will knock away the 50 and 100 brake
what
marker
a
boards.
guy. Just so your
Yeah.
frame
Now
of
enjoy.
reference is gone. Now enjoy. I'm
Now
telling
enjoy.
you, that bollard
Yeah.
was just amazing. And
Yeah,
also
call
gave
yourself
us-
elite, you know?
I
Yeah.
think it also just gave us another legend Max moment in the press conference when they asked
For
him
sure,
about the
yeah.
bollard.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I just didn't like him, so I was like, I'm gonna take him out.
Yeah.
Like, screw that guy.
I have also noticed though that like Max has become a lot chiller in the press conferences. Like a lot of times, like earlier, say a year or two ago, at the press conference, he's constantly asked really all questions. Like you wouldn't want to answer them about like it pointed in a way. Don't you think this is a bad
Yeah.
idea or whatever? They're
Yeah.
pointed in that way.
If my
And,
mom
like,
had
these
balls,
days-
she'd be my dad. Like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Great.
exactly.
That's
Yeah,
a t-shirt.
That's a t-shirt.
Yeah.
That's
He's
Red
like,
Bull
"Hey,
merch
man,
right there.
Yeah.
what are these questions?
Yeah.
Like, what are
Questions,
these
yeah, yeah.
questions, really?
But also,
he's
I
been
think
handling
he's-
himself a little more chill.
Yeah,
as
but
well.
also I
Yeah.
think now in general he's become more chill because he's kind of like proved himself. Like, as in, there's no more question mark against, like, is he deserving,
Yeah.
that one whatever tainted championship obviously personally costed him quite a bit in.
Yes.
Tainted is a huge word.
Yeah.
It is now.
is
Like he won no other races.
You human error, whatever. But
Human
I
error.
mean, it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
his fault.
I got
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying that, I like, unfortunately, that there was a lot of that, right? Which I
Yeah.
think also the following years we were all like questioning, oh, was it just that laugh? Was it just like whatever?
For
But now he's
sure. And
obviously,
as a young guy, it must be damn hard to handle that
yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
this thing or whatever. So I'm like,
And
yeah, it is.
as you said, he was also goaded a lot. Like it was like
Yeah.
you were asked those questions to like
constantly.
get a reaction out of him, and like
But this is very
yeah.
easy, dude. I'm pretty sure his dad has asked him way harder questions.
For sure. Yeah. Exactly.
He's got very
yeah.
good training.
Yeah. That's true.
I think
And
if my
I mean-
mom had balls is a Yoss line, which he's
Yeah,
now going to have to pay
exactly.
royalties for.
Like, yours will send the invoice.
And at least, they don't have to go through, like, I was thinking about it the other day again. I'm sorry to bring up the IPL again, but like, like you've noticed like how in the IPL, like all of these like micro moments that happen on the field are analyzed to an extent where it's like Dhoni snubbed opposition. And what did he do? He like forgot to shake hands with one guy or something like that, but he has snubbed the opposition. At least it isn't that inflammatory just yet in the F1 world, where it's like it was getting to that point in 2021. I kind of feel like everything was being like micro analyzed, but we're not there just yet with F1. But it would be interesting to see how Indian sports media were, if they were given like F1 to cover just as they did the IPL.
But it was definitely happening in 21, Arjun. What are you talking? This was fully
for sure.
there.
That's what I'm saying. Like it was happening in 21, but I kind of feel like right now
whenever there's a close rivalry, it happens because then everything is like hyper and like made into like a big deal of even one guy looking at the other is like
another guy or like whatever.
Everything
like
is
the tiniest of things, So
like, this person wore red. Was it because like that person supports blue? Like
he tapped his steering 2 times, and 2 times is because the Freemason said and whatever.
Also, this race also, he gave middle finger to one guy.
Fully. Yeah. But
wait, who did he give middle finger to?
Basically, you were driving into the pits, and I think one of the Ferrari fans or somebody gave him middle fingers.
Like I thought you were talking about. I thought you were talking about when Hamilton got in his way. I thought he gave him.
That you would have definitely heard.
Also, when was the last time he was anywhere near Hamilton or Hamilton to get in his way, buddy?
Man, I think Hamilton finished like a full minute or 30 seconds behind the thing. One thing on Imola, like, gosh, wasn't it fun to see qualifying at Imola? Like, in that, like, because it's that old school type of circuit, that, like, he takes it to the gravel 1 millimeter more and that thing is cocked up. Like Miami and all these other, like, more modern circuits and everything, even if he goes wide, the car is not fucked. Like, the gravel traps and the runoffs are so good in these like newer modern circuits. But Imola was just so classic, right? Like even in the start-finish state, there was a moment I think like Russell was overtaking somebody, and I was like, "Bro, Russell, remember what happened last time we tried overtaking somebody on that start-finish state?" So, like, even on the start-finish straight, overtaking has a sense of peril because just on the side, there's no runoff, it's still grass.
Yeah.
It's like, so I really, like, that was one thing that, coming from Miami to Imola and then watching qualifying at Imola, you could tell that these, like, micro, like, steering inputs where he's like, oh, shit, making this small chain that's going to affect his corner exit so he doesn't get onto the curb too much. That was really, really fun to watch, like, especially qualifying. And again, same is going to be with Monaco as well. Like, one mistake, and that's it. Like, Monaco, not like the other street circuits where there is some runoff and everything.
Maybe we'll get another conspiracy theory about, like, did he purposely end qualifying by crashing?
Yeah.
Juicy.
What is the lead right now that he has in the standings? Let's see. Drivers' Championship. So Max is at 161, Charles is at 113. That is a full
Wow.
48 points. Okay.
Well, in fairness,
And
it's just one DNF and it's
yeah,
it's
it comes
all
up
very
really
close
close.
again.
Yeah.
I
One
mean,
day,
at this
just
rate,
one day.
Lando is going to like leapfrog
Yeah.
possibly both of them.
Lando will leapfrog Perez for it. Does
For
look
sure,
like
for
Lando, like Lando's at 101 and Perez at 107.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that definitely seems very close. And how is this Perez lack of performance going to impact the remainder of the season is also something to be seen, because this was quite frankly embarrassing. Like,
Oh, yeah.
where Perez finished compared to Lando.
No, because I mean,
not
Ferrari,
Lando, sorry,
if
Max.
Ferrari and McLaren both start firing both their cars up, at least constructors then becomes fun.
For sure.
Like
Yeah,
constructors,
for sure.
you can
Exactly.
find, like Max will get drivers, but if constructors
Yeah,
go away,
constructors
then
are
now
open.
you've got blood in the water, no?
Yeah, and that's when the question comes, is this the Yuki Tsunoda moment? Is what happens to Danny Rick, who had a decent sprint, I think. He scored a top P4 in the sprint, right?
P4,
in Miami. Yeah. Yeah, a decent sprint.
If I remember correctly,
But
it was
then-
like excellent Saturday to like immediately disastrous
Yeah.
Sunday is what I'm trying to. I think it was
Yeah.
sprint amazing, quali awful, or
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
He's just
Yeah.
somehow not consistent. Like at least Yuki has consistently been performing. I mean, like at
Yeah.
whatever level, but you're seeing that he's got the qualifying, the race pace, everything.
So it'll be damn interesting to see, especially because Monaco again is like an
Who would you
outlier.
pick as your non-Max Monaco winner? Like who would you ideally want to win?
I would say Leclerc, just because we have
Yeah,
little variety
exactly.
again. One Ferrari also winning something.
And man, Leclerc needs to win Monaco. Like, I mean, it will be the ultimate story. They'll make a statue of him over there or something like that. Yeah, like he has, like, I mean, think about how the last few times we've seen him, he comes so close in qualifying or something has
Yeah,
happened.
something
Remember
always
that
bad
time when
luck.
he qualified on pole, but then the car had to be redone and
Yeah.
everything. Gosh, that boy
Yeah,
needs
he's
to win
had some
Monaco.
bad luck in Monaco.
Yeah, totally. If there's one driver, like even as a McLaren guy or whatever, I'd be like, Charles, I think needs to win. Like it would be a great story. Like everybody would be very, very happy. Like this same podium that we had in Imola reversed I'd be fine with that. Like Charles Lando Max. Charles Lando Max, a great podium, by the way. Like what a
Ocon
great.
on the podium last year?
Yeah.
He was. Yes.
Ocon was on the podium last
Yes.
year. Jesus. How far have Alpine fallen?
Gosh.
Suddenly it just occurred to me that Ocon was on the podium
Ocon on the
last year.
podium in Monaco.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were
And last
pretty
year,
decent
so all
last year.
that cool shit was happening. Deadpool helmet and all of that. And like, Tom Brady has invested in the team or whatever. And
Oh
yeah. Now, this year, if Ocon can get a podium,
And just retire while you're at
and
it.
this could be the most interesting race of the season, for sure. Like, whatever happens in Monaco
then whatever
is the most
happens.
interesting.
This is the most interesting.
But
race.
wait, Monaco last year was that craziness now, where there was suddenly that insane 10 minutes of rain. Everybody was suddenly swimming.
Yeah, exactly.
And Alonso came second in that one. I remember. Yes, that was a fun race.
But I'm also looking forward to another year of Monaco looking good, because they changed the people who did the camera.
Yes,
the
shots and
thing.
angles.
For sure, the
I'm
new
looking
shots
forward to
look
another
also
year
amazing.
of like new crunchy Monaco shots.
Yes, very tasty. And that's most of what during the race we will have to look forward to these beauty shots of Monaco.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and also, it's good there's new ones. I'm sick of that same one where that one balcony where the cars go past.
Go past.
Now we've seen that for 15 years now. That same family, I've seen them grow up. Now please show new people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but good things. Like, I mean, we took a little bit of a Sidepod break, but we've come back to what feels like a little bit more of an energized
I think so.
season.
And we'll come back hopefully again next week and not many weeks later.
Hopefully we'll have fun things to talk about. I hope the season just keeps throwing up like fun new narratives, and I think like just on balance between last season this time and this season this time, this is already like tastier.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. We have one additional winner.
yes, you know what? I'll take it. I will
Yeah,
take
you'll
it.
take it. We'll
I
take
will
it.
take
We'll
it
take
in
it.
these
Not
fallow
complain it.
times. I will
Yeah.
take what I get.
Yeah, you'll take it. Yeah. Yeah, because
But
otherwise, pre Miami, it was exactly the same. Carlos Sainz was also the last time winner, and this time was for Carlos Sainz.
yeah,
Yeah, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Also, by the way, we should plug. So
yes,
we're making. Yes, we are
Oh
making. We
yeah.
have made a
and
new
it is in the
channel for
description.
Sidepod. Yes.
The
So
link is
please.
in the description.
Yes, एक chat में भी डाल दो. So please go
Yes.
subscribe there. Once we reach like a few hundred people at least over there, then we'll start streaming over there.
Correct.
So Rohan's algorithm can regenerate.
Yes. It's okay, dude. Right now, my algorithm basically, at least on my like YouTube viewed these things, is either F1 or
yeah.
how not to die at this point in Elden Ring. Like that's
Yes.
it. That is my entire this thing right
Yeah.
now. It's very sad. Wait, I will put the link in the chat also. Hang on. Chat, everyone, go subscribe because our next episode onward, we will be streaming from there. Okay.
Yes.
We will be streaming from
Please,
there.
yes, subscribe and bell notification, bell
Yes,
icon.
all
whatever
of those
that thing is.
things. All of those things.
Maybe we can do a watch along for Quali or something.
That's
Yeah,
difficult
and the
for me
timing
this
is
week.
also perfect.
Difficult for me this week, but तुम लोग करो. Now everybody's channel it is. मजे करो.
Oh my God. Azim is all like, मैं नहीं हूँ तो क्या हुआ?
Yes, democracy, guys.
अब तुम बड़े हो गए हो.
Democracy.
अब
Yeah.
तुम खुद
Enjoy
के
it.
decisions ले सकते हो.
Yes.
Yeah.
Until
God
4th
damn.
June. enjoy
Sidepod is
the
going up,
democracy.
guys.
Sidepod is
Sidepod
growing
going
up and moving out of home.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Now we have to
Yeah.
teach Aditya Bhatt how to stream.
yeah.
But yeah, so for one last time on this channel, smack one like and go follow our new channel. And anyone, any closing thoughts, towards this thing? Azim has returned from work. This thing
Nothing.
does not
I am
want to.
retiring.
Shehzad Shroff, anything?
No, nothing.
Cool. On the 29th, which is next Wednesday, I'm performing at Habitat. Show called Rough Work Column. Please go look it up. Tickets are available on Book My Show and Insider. So please go. This is at Habitat in Khar in Mumbai. And yeah, that's about it. Any other closing thoughts for the stream?
Oh,
Let's just
smash
have
that like button
another
on our new channel, you
non-max
guys.
winner.
Number one. On that note, friends, one more like before you go. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you everybody for joining. And we will see you after Monaco.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.